Luke Wallen was widely regarded as a genuinely kind and friendly guy. He was always ready with a smile, eager to lend an ear and offer words of encouragement when needed. His quick wit, dry humor, and sharp intelligence were traits that endeared him to those around him. However, it was also known among his acquaintances not to provoke him. While Luke had a high tolerance for frustration, when pushed to his limit, he could become explosively angry. When this was mentioned to him, Luke would acknowledge it with a nod and a wry comment, saying, "Yeah, I'm working on that." Opting to save money on his college education, Luke worked as a machinist during the day while attending evening classes at the community college. He was pursuing a business degree with the goal of eventually owning his own machining business, specializing in precision stainless steel hardware for medical manufacturers. During one of his night classes, Luke crossed paths with Willow Larson. Despite her unconventional upbringing by free-spirited parents, Willow was focused on obtaining an education to secure a stable future. She was studying business with aspirations of entering the pharmaceutical sales industry to achieve financial success. Willow possessed a captivating presence, with her charming smile, striking crystal blue eyes, and an impressive figure that drew attention. Luke and Willow met on a rainy evening after class, where Luke offered to share his umbrella with her on their way to the parking lot. As they walked together, Willow couldn't help but be impressed by Luke's tall, muscular stature, long blonde hair, and hint of a red beard. Meanwhile, Luke found himself captivated by Willow's alluring voice, infectious smile, and magnetic personality. Their initial encounter led to a lunch date the following day and an invitation to join a small happy hour gathering on Friday evening. The chemistry between them was undeniable, and they quickly became inseparable, spending nearly every day together. They shared a love for outdoor activities like hiking, biking, and kayaking, but also cherished quiet moments together, enjoying shared meals and engaging in passionate and intimate moments late into the night. Luke quickly realized that Willow was the one he wanted to spend his life with, and she felt the same way. Together, they decided to plan a traditional church wedding with the financial assistance of Willow's parents. The wedding would be followed by a reception for about 100 guests, complete with an open bar, dinner, DJ, and dancing. Since Luke's parents lived far away and were on a tight budget, they contributed $5,000 to help cover the bar tab and Luke's tuxedo. For his wedding party, Luke chose his older brother Todd as his best man, along with longtime friends Jack Nichols and Dennis Long. Willow selected her best friend Linda Miller, along with two other close friends, Brenda Johnson and Molly Webster, to stand by her as bridesmaids. Luke and Todd had always been close, and Todd, a solid and muscular mason, lived nearby. When Luke arrived at Todd's house on his motorcycle, Todd greeted him with a baby monitor in hand. They bantered about Luke's motorcycle and Todd's upcoming measurements for his tuxedo, joking about the wedding preparations and the bachelor party plans. Luke shared with Todd how excited he was about his relationship with Willow and the upcoming wedding. Todd, however, expressed his own frustrations, joking about his lack of intimacy due to his pregnant wife and young child. Despite the playful banter, Luke and Todd shared a bond of brotherhood and support as they navigated their respective life stages. "Hey Todd, you just crossed the line into TMI territory. But don't worry, you only have another 18 years until you can enjoy some peace and quiet in your own home and have wild animalistic sex in every room like Willow and I did last weekend." "Enough, make yourself useful." Todd handed Luke the two-piece baby monitor. "This thing doesn't work anymore. It has new batteries, so I'm not sure what's wrong. I know you can fix just about anything, so I thought I'd ask you before buying a new one." "No problem, I'm heading home early anyway," Luke replied as he took the monitor. "I'll take a look at it right away." Luke drove home on his Harley and parked it under the back eave to avoid the rain. He plugged the base monitor into the wall and went down to his basement workbench to open up the handheld receptor. Within minutes, he found the problem, resoldered a broken wire, and had it working again. As Luke finished, he heard Willow come in upstairs and caught her conversation through the baby monitor. He froze in shock when he heard her suggest meeting someone named Dennis for sex. He couldn't believe what he was hearing and felt his legs give out beneath him as he sank to the ground. Listening further, he heard Willow explain that while she was enjoying the physical aspect with Dennis, she couldn't risk Luke finding out as it would devastate him. She expressed her love for Luke and her reluctance to hurt him. Despite this, she arranged to meet Dennis, eagerly anticipating their encounter. Feeling betrayed and devastated, Luke struggled to comprehend Willow's words as he listened in disbelief. With a heavy heart, Luke listened as Willow hurried out the door. His dreams of a future with her, of building a life together, raising kids, and being lifelong partners, shattered in an instant. The realization that Willow might already be cheating on him, especially at the peak of their engagement when passion is supposed to be at its highest, was devastating. He couldn't fathom the idea of living with someone he couldn't trust, someone who would betray him so callously. The thought of Willow potentially seeking multiple partners in the future filled him with anger and disgust. Slowly, he made his way upstairs and glanced out the front window, where he saw Willow eagerly getting into Dennis's car. The sight fueled his rage, and he stormed out to the garage, grabbing a tire iron before hopping onto his Harley and following them at a distance. As they drove out of town, Luke's mind raced with thoughts of betrayal and revenge. He knew of a secluded park with hidden parking lots, one of which he suspected Dennis was heading to. After taking a moment to collect himself, Luke parked his bike and approached Dennis's car, filming the encounter on his phone. He listened as Willow and Dennis engaged in intimate activities in the back seat, their words cutting through him like knives. The sight of Willow, naked and entwined with Dennis, triggered his rage, and he couldn't hold back his emotions any longer. In a fit of anger, Luke confronted Willow, accusing her of betrayal. Willow's reaction was one of shock and denial, pleading with Dennis to stop and insisting that what was happening was wrong. But for Luke, the damage was already done, and the trust he had in Willow was irreparably broken. Luke couldn't believe Willow's feeble attempt to play innocent. Dennis, now fully clothed, tried to placate Luke, insisting that it was just harmless fun before the marriage and that Willow truly loved Luke. But Luke's emotions were in turmoil, and he reacted with a painful scream, wielding the tire iron and smashing the car's windows. He threatened Dennis, warning him not to step out of the car, knowing full well the consequences if he did. With each swing of the tire iron, Luke vented his rage, shattering the glass and damaging the car. When he finally yanked open the door and pulled Dennis out, he didn't hesitate to unleash his fury, striking him with the iron and then with his fist. Amidst the chaos, Willow pleaded for forgiveness, claiming that her actions meant nothing and that she loved only Luke. But his disgust for her betrayal was evident as he lashed out with harsh words, vowing never to forgive her. Ignoring Willow's pleas, Luke walked away, leaving her sobbing on her knees as he rode off into the distance. Looking back, he saw Willow and Dennis amidst the wreckage, a painful reminder of the betrayal that had shattered his trust and his heart. Luke rode off on his Harley, his mind clouded with confusion and pain, the wind whipping against him as he sped down the road without a destination in mind. Hours later, he found himself at his brother Todd's house, seeking solace in familiar surroundings. Todd was taken aback when he saw Luke sitting on the steps, visibly distraught and in tears, his whole world seemingly shattered. As Luke poured out his heart to Todd, the older brother listened attentively, offering his support and sympathy. "I never saw this coming, Todd," Luke said between sobs. "I thought Willow loved me, but now I don't know what to believe anymore." Todd put a comforting arm around Luke's shoulder and sighed deeply. "I can't believe it either, Luke. But maybe it's better that you found out now, before it was too late." Luke nodded, his mind reeling with conflicting emotions. "I can't go through with the wedding, Todd. I can't marry someone who would cheat on me like this." As Luke contemplated his next steps, his phone began to ring. Seeing Willow's name on the caller ID, he ignored the call and listened to the voicemail later. He also noticed a missed call from an unfamiliar number, which he decided to answer. "What do you want?" Luke asked curtly. "This is Lieutenant Gerard from the 4th Precinct," came the response. "We have a complaint of assault and property damage from a Dennis Long, who identified you as the perpetrator. You need to come down to the precinct within the next half hour." Luke's heart sank as he realized the gravity of the situation. He turned to Todd, his expression one of dread, before responding to the officer. "Okay, Lieutenant. I'll be there in 30 minutes. Should I bring a lawyer?" "You might want to consider it, given the circumstances," Lieutenant Gerard replied. "See you soon." Upon hearing the news, Todd wasted no time and immediately reached out to his friend Mikey, whom he knew was a reliable lawyer. "Mikey, my brother is facing charges of assault and property damage. He'll be at the 4th Precinct in 30 minutes. Can you represent him?" After confirming Mikey's availability, Todd assured Luke that help was on the way. "Mikey will be there for you, and I'll bail you out as soon as things settle down. Just stay calm and let Mikey handle the talking. I understand why you did what you did, but now isn't the time for regrets. We'll deal with the consequences together." The following morning, Todd picked up Luke from jail after a night spent in lockup. Luke had his hearing in front of the judge, where Mikey's guidance resulted in a bail requirement of $10,000. Mikey suggested Luke attempt to reconcile with Dennis and cover the damages, but Luke adamantly refused. Returning home, Luke found Willow gone and decided to move in with his brother temporarily. He packed his belongings and reflected on the situation, acknowledging the role of the baby monitor in preventing a grave mistake. A week passed, with Luke ignoring Willow's attempts to contact him. He listened to her voicemails, each filled with excuses and apologies that only fueled his anger. Despite her pleas for reconciliation, Luke remained steadfast in his decision to call off the wedding. However, he felt compelled to have a final discussion with Willow, out of respect for her and her parents. Despite his love for her, Luke knew that the wedding in 3 weeks was no longer an option, and he grappled with the idea of moving on or giving their relationship another chance. As Luke contemplated calling Willow, he heard Todd's doorbell ring. To his surprise, Molly stood at the door, offering her condolences. Luke invited her in, and they moved to the backyard to talk. Molly's attire caught Luke off guard. Her tight shorts and revealing top left little to the imagination. Wanting to discuss the situation, Luke led Molly to the picnic table. He questioned whether Willow had told Molly the truth about what happened. "Molly, Willow is devastated and wants to make things right. She suggested that I have my own fling before the wedding to even the score, and she sent you to fulfill that role," Molly explained, with a seductive glance. Luke was furious at Willow's suggestion and disappointed in Molly's willingness to go along with it. However, he concealed his true feelings and went to grab some beers, pondering how to handle the situation. Returning with the drinks, Luke shared his idea with Molly. He explained his legal predicament and proposed that Molly or Willow could convince Dennis to drop the charges by offering him a settlement. Molly seemed open to the idea, expressing her willingness to help. Luke saw it as a test of Willow's loyalty, believing that if she objected, it would signify her true feelings for Dennis. "God, I'd rather be with you than Dennis, but if it helps reconcile you and Willow, then I'll do it. I've always been curious about his cock that Willow talks about so much," Molly blurted out. Luke felt uncomfortable hearing Molly's candid remark but appreciated her willingness to help. He hugged her, kissed her on the cheek, and asked for an update later. Then, he texted Willow, informing her that Molly would discuss an idea to move forward and asked her to keep him informed. Meanwhile, Willow confided in her best friend Linda about the situation. Linda, feeling both sympathy and anger, confronted Willow for betraying Luke's trust. "How could you do that to Luke? You told me you'd stop having sex with others when you got engaged. Now you're saying you'll do it when you're married? I don't believe you, and how is Luke supposed to?" Linda expressed her frustration. Willow defended herself, claiming it was a meaningless fling to ease pre-wedding nerves. However, seeing Luke's pain made her realize the impact of her actions. Sensing Willow's lack of remorse, Linda thought Willow didn't deserve Luke. Just then, Molly arrived with Luke's plan. After discussing, they agreed to convince Dennis to accept the settlement. Willow suggested Molly should be the one to approach Dennis, as Luke wouldn't accept her doing it again. Molly eagerly agreed. Willow then turned to Linda, requesting her to sleep with Luke to balance things out. Reluctantly, Linda agreed, emphasizing that Dennis must drop the charges for the plan to proceed. Within 2 days, Molly and Dennis had been intimate multiple times, leading to Dennis dropping the charges. Despite Luke's reluctance to answer Willow's calls, she left voicemails claiming credit for the plan's success and pleading for forgiveness. She also encouraged Linda to pursue Luke. Luke grappled with his emotions, torn between his love for Willow and the realization that marrying her might not be wise. He also felt guilty about the financial losses her family would incur if he called off the wedding. Damn, Luke muttered to himself. I need to hear her side and understand why she cheated. Resigned, he dialed her number. Luke, thank goodness you called. Baby, I'm so sorry. It's not about you, you're perfect, and I love you. Can we move past this and be together? Willow pleaded. Why did you cheat, Willow? How many times? Doesn't our love and engagement mean anything? Luke demanded. Yes, it happened more than once, but it was meaningless. I promised to be faithful. I love you, and nothing compares to us, Willow assured. That's the problem. Can I trust you? Luke questioned. The other encounters mean nothing. I'll never stray again, Willow insisted. Are you suggesting an open marriage? Luke pressed. Willow's response left Luke feeling uncertain about their future. Luke, I understand your pain, but please hear me out. I want you, but if we marry and you say no to an open relationship, I'll be faithful to you. I promise, Willow pleaded. You've hurt me deeply, Willow. I can't shake the image of you with Dennis. How can I trust you? How many others were there? Luke responded with anguish. I need time to process this. I'll call you later. Feeling overwhelmed, Luke stepped outside for fresh air. Willow's mention of an open marriage shattered his trust. As he grappled with his emotions, Linda called. Luke, can you join me for a ride? Linda asked. Despite his initial reluctance, Luke agreed, seeking solace in Linda's friendship. As they drove, he poured out his heart, showing Linda the video and expressing his confusion. Linda, Willow asked you to seduce me to make things even, Luke said, exasperated. Luke, I would never betray your trust like that. I value our friendship too much, Linda assured him. I don't want you back with Willow. She doesn't deserve you. Luke listened as Linda confessed her deeper feelings for him. She wanted him to understand his worth beyond Willow's actions. I'm not making a move on you, Luke. I just want you to see your worth and consider a future without Willow, Linda explained, her words offering Luke a new perspective. Luke, she's been cheating on you throughout your entire relationship, not just with Dennis. To her, sex with others is no big deal, just recreational fun like having a drink or dancing. She does love you, but she'll never be able to love you the way you deserve because she won't change. She'll cheat, lie, and if caught, assume you'll forgive her and do it again and again. Luke, you have to decide what's right for you, not Willow, not her family, and not the wedding guests. Just you. And know that I'll be by your side, supporting whatever decision you make. With that, she started the car, and they drove in silence to Todd's house. Dropping him off, she said, choose carefully, Luke. Believe that someone is out there who can love you the way you deserve. Luke saw her tearing up as he closed the car door, and she sped off. 2 hours later, Luke was composing an email addressing the 100 wedding guests. Entitled Special Update to the Wedding Plans of Luke Walland and Willow Larson, he wrote, Dear friends and family, several months ago, we invited you to celebrate our love and commitment as we embarked on our journey together. However, I've recently discovered that Willow has a different perspective on relationships. Not only was she involved with Dennis, but she's also been sexually active with others throughout our relationship. I caught her with Dennis, and while I won't share the video, it's an image of betrayal that I can't forget. It's become clear that Willow doesn't truly love me in the way I deserve. I believe a life partner should respect, cherish, and be faithful to their partner. Regrettably, Willow's actions don't align with these values. Therefore, I've made the difficult decision to cancel the wedding. I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause and appreciate your understanding. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, Luke Walland. It's evident that Willow's idea of a relationship differs from mine, leading me to regretfully and thankfully announce the cancellation of our engagement, relationship, and wedding. Regretful for losing the potential of a lifelong partner, had mutual love and respect been reciprocated. Thankful for uncovering Willow's perception of relationships before committing to a marriage that would likely crumble due to her actions, sparing me from prolonged heartache. I extend my apologies to Willow's family, who I believe are unaware of her true character and recent actions that derailed our plans. While it's Willow who should be apologizing, I feel compelled to set the record straight, emphasizing the importance of honesty and accountability in relationships. To those in fulfilling marriages, I admire your bond and aspire to find that for myself one day. To those navigating relationships, choose wisely and prioritize respect, love, trust, and commitment once you've found your partner. Sincerely, Luke Wallen. Following the email, turmoil ensued within 2 days. Willow's parents threatened legal action to recoup wedding expenses. In response, Luke questioned their upbringing of Willow and their own marital values, halting their argument. Meanwhile, Willow bombarded Luke with derogatory emails, blaming his immaturity and stubbornness, yet also declaring her desire to sever ties. Her reputation suffered, attracting only casual relationships devoid of depth. Molly later revealed Willow's realization of her loss, trading genuine love for fleeting encounters. Dennis faced repercussions around town as he encountered Todd and Luke's friends, receiving his fair share of sucker punches. He became ostracized within his social circle, eventually relocating out west. Luke faced embarrassment, strained relationships, and uncomfortable conversations following the email he sent regarding the wedding's dissolution. However, amidst the turmoil, Luke found solace in his family's support and their praise for his integrity, particularly in rejecting Willow's offer of reconciliation through wild make-up sex with her bridesmaid. Yet, the silver lining emerged when Luke began spending time with Linda, who shared mutual disdain with Willow. Initially seeking comfort in each other's company, their friendship blossomed into a deep love and commitment. Their relationship is seen as a testament to enduring trust and loyalty, with their marriage expected to flourish and grow stronger over time, embodying a lifetime of love and partnership. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Remember, write your opinion in the comments.